Just a couple quick reminders before we get started. Remember that at your convenience during the ceremony, if you want to get up and get you some dessert, you can see them on the countertops below the screens in the back on each side. Then also the restrooms, or if you need a restroom, they're just out the back past the touch screens in the back of the Hall of Honor. So, all right, let's get started. Prior to us beginning our inaugural Hall of Honor induction ceremony, we would like to recognize our Frisco ISD athletic staff and a few special guests. When you're introduced, please stand and remain standing to be recognized as a group. Please hold your applause until all are recognized. Once again, I am Jerry Littlejohn, the Managing Director of Athletics for Frisco ISD. I would also like to introduce Athletic Director Chris Birch, Assistant Athletic Director Becky Craig, Assistant Athletic Director Deidre Rucker, Communications Facilitator for Athletics and our MC for the induction ceremony today, Matt Wixon. Thank you guys for being here and all you've done. Additional Frisco ISD athletic staff involved in the planning and preparation of this event are as follows: Stephen Doherty, Alex Butler, Tracy Curtis, Jennifer Helm, Ann Ludlow, Sarah Tordson, and then Jose Leyva and his outstanding staff. Thank you. We are pleased to have some members of our Frisco ISD instructional support team and our Board of Trustees. Please help us welcome the following individuals: Frisco ISD Superintendent Dr. Mike Waldrop, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Todd Fouch, Chief Leadership Officer Corey McClendon, School Board President Dinette Davis, School Board Vice President Gopal Pananji, School Board Secretary Mark Hill, and School Board Trustee Sherry Salas. I would like to introduce our Hall of Honor committee members. When you're introduced, please stand and remain standing to be recognized as a group. Former teacher and coach in Frisco ISD, Kip Bledsoe. Former teacher and coach in Frisco ISD and Hall of Honor member, Scott Cook. Former Managing Director of Athletics for Frisco ISD and 2025 Hall of Honor inductee, David Kirkendall. Former Managing Director of Athletics for Frisco ISD and current UIL Assistant Athletic Director, Grace McDowell. Former Frisco ISD School Board member, Buddy Minette. Former Frisco ISD Superintendent, Dr. Rick Reedy. Thank you to our committee members for your contributions to our Athletics Hall of Honor. Your volunteer work and commitment to Frisco ISD athletics is very much appreciated. Thank you. Next, we'd like to introduce and recognize representatives from one of Frisco ISD Athletics' most significant partners, BSN Sports. When you are introduced, please stand and remain standing to be recognized as a group. Regional Sales Director Chris Reynolds, Central Sales Manager Todd Ford. Is Todd here? Steve Easterling, John Harrison, and Brian Brotzman. Thank you guys for being here. BSN is responsible for providing our meal today, so we really appreciate them. At this time, we will begin our induction ceremony for the Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor class of 2025. As we recognize our coaches, athletes, teams, and contributors, we will begin each induction with some biographical information, followed by a video. Once the introductory video is complete, we will invite the individual or team inductee to the stage. It's time for us to begin. I would like to welcome to the stage our MC for today's ceremony, Mr. Matt Wixon.
Thank you, Jerry, and welcome everyone to the second Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor induction ceremony. It's great to have so many people here who have played such a big part in Frisco ISD over the years. Today we get to honor people who have contributed to the growth and success of the district's athletics department. Frisco ISD strives to prepare leaders for the future, and we all know that a lot of character building happens through athletics. That happens regardless of whether a competition is won or lost, but we are very proud of all the success we have had in Frisco ISD in so many sports. In the fall, just this last fall, the Centennial tennis team won the state title, and the Wakeland volleyball team won the state title. And for Frisco ISD, that was the 14th and 15th state championships in just the last 5 years. Frisco ISD has obviously come a long way. We're now in the 25th year of this new century, kind of the olden days. Now we think of them as the new olden days. Just to show how much Frisco has grown, here's some quick facts from 2000. Back then, the Dallas North Tollway ended in Plano. We didn't have it yet up here in Frisco. Sam Rayburn Tollway was not yet a thing. If anybody remembers that painful experiences of what it was, 2 lanes, going nowhere both ways it seemed, and just slow. So it was terrible to be on there. Frisco ISD had just one high school, of course, back then, Frisco High School. It had just recently moved up to 4A from 3A. And notably, FISD had a new district athletic director at the time. And at that time, people were still trying to figure out how to spell and pronounce Kirkendall. Now, of course, we've got a beautifully engraved spell checker that looms over all of us when we're out at David Kirkendall Stadium. Well, anyways, that gets us to our first inductee of the 2025 class, David Kirkendall. David Kirkendall's legacy as a teacher, coach, and administrator is recognized at every game at the former FISD Memorial Stadium, which was renamed in his honor in 2021. Kirkendall became FISD's first athletic director in 1999, and over the next 2 decades, he oversaw athletics as the district grew and its athletic programs earned statewide recognition.
It's an honor to be the person to be able to introduce Coach David Kirkendall. For me personally, Coach K was extremely impactful. I came to Frisco in 1992. He came shortly thereafter. And it was the spring of '93, and I remember thinking, oh, this is a great opportunity. I got to meet him, and he just seemed like a great guy, and I thought, this is good. I went home and told my wife, hey, this could really be good. Little did I know that he was going to become my biggest mentor, the most impactful person in my coaching career and my career basically in athletics. And I'll be honest, if it would not have been him at that time, I don't know where I would be. And then here it is 33 years later, and I'm still in Frisco ISD. But just from a person that was a baseball guy, he taught me that there were other things besides baseball. And he taught me that what we were in this business for was to help make leaders out of young men and young women. And it was just very impactful to me to see how he built relationships with people, because he came in and he did that first. That was the #1 priority. And like I said, he took me, that was a person that was a baseball guy, and made it where I loved coaching football. I loved coaching all kids. He made the community that we had amongst our coaches very personal, and it was one that we enjoyed spending time together. And as many of y'all know, in the football world, the high school football world, you spend a lot of time together. I mean, it used to be that you were up there probably most of the day on Saturday and Sunday. You had to be able to enjoy that, and we did. It was a great time. But his ability to build relationships with people, his ability to get kids to do things that they didn't think they could do, and they did that because of the relationship that he had with them. But he always put relationships first, and then my relationship with him was very impactful. I want to thank Coach K for everything that he's done for me personally. Thank him for what he's done for Frisco ISD. And then also say congratulations on being inducted into the 2025
Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Honor inductee David Kirkendall. Well, Coach K, you're obviously pretty well known around here. We've heard a lot of stories about you, but now that you've been retired a few years, what sticks with you most about your time in FISD?
Well, Matt, first of all, before I give you a little dissertation on that question, I want to recognize some folks over at my table right quick, or I'd be in kind of some trouble when I got home. But number one is my wife, Carol, sitting at the table. Number two is my, well, honey, I can't put it any higher than I can. How's that? Is that better? Okay, all right. My daughter, Casey, who's running the show over there. And then I've got Edie Vaughn, who was my secretary in the athletic department for over 20 years, and her husband, Blake. And then I've got Coach Ronnie Mullins, who I actually hired to replace me back in '93 when I got here. So just want to recognize you guys. You don't have to clap. I just wanted to make sure that they got their props. But no, the things that stick out when I got here, well, before I got here, I just want you to know this one thing. For the 14 years before I got here, where I was at MacArthur and Irving and Italy, Texas, and Red Oak, Texas, I firmly believe that God was preparing me to come here to Frisco. I believe that in my heart. And once I got here at Frisco, it was just like Jerry talked about. It was fun. It was fun doing where we were, and didn't realize at the time that we were making the standard for the rest of the time that we were here in Frisco. So anyway, that was a big one. The other thing is this, is to tell you a little bit about my job. When I got hired, first of all, I wasn't the first choice. I was tied for the second choice. I know Dr. Reedy remembers this. And came up, and the guy that actually beat me out for the job stayed for a month and then left. And I can remember Dr. Wakeland calling me up. I was in off-season in Red Oak back in the day. And he said, hey, something's come up, and are you still interested in that job? I said, well, heck yeah, I am. And so anyway, came up, and everything's been great. I've got some notes because being here 28 years, it's hard to remember all that stuff. I would say another thing that I really thought was cool was how much the kids and the coaches accepted me coming up here. And some of the things that we did that were a little bit unique and different. We kind of changed the weight room up, what it looked like. They started doing some free weights, but then we really started hammering that pretty good back in the day, and turned out pretty good. Won about 4 or 5 state titles in state powerlifting as teams. Boys and 2 girls and some boys did that. So that was a big deal. And then the other thing was, of course, we started doing this thing called home visits. And I don't know if the coaches, some of them may still do that now, I'm not for sure, but they hadn't done that before. And so what I made the coaches do is we went out into the neighborhoods and we met the kids' families, and we got to know people a little bit. And that was kind of the start of something that I thought was one of the better things that we had done in the past. The other things that were cool was we had a great booster club. A guy named Bud Thompson was leading the booster club when I got here back in the day. We ended up having a guy named Paul Stewart and Jandra Wright, then came after them, and they were very accepting and all the new ideas, and we had some really cool things with that. I would say probably in my coaching days, the coolest thing definitely was Friday Night Lights. That's what it was back in those days. If you think that this stadium is not full of Friday Night Lights, you're wrong, and it's still being made Friday Night Lights. I love it when I go over to the Ford Center. That ain't Friday Night Lights. I love to go to Toyota and watch our kids play. Not Friday Night Lights. This is. I can still remember my first year coaching here, and of course the athletic offices are over there, and that's where our coaches' office were, and that's where the kids were when we came out from the. We actually went through the weight room and went through the middle doors and started banging on the metal door to come out onto the field, and that's when the fans knew they're coming out. Let's go. Let's start screaming and yelling for them, and so that's what happened. But I can remember that before that first ball game, I don't know if y'all, you know we have an east-west stadium, not a north-south stadium. And if you come at a certain time right before the ball game, the sun is setting on the west side down there. And I can remember walking up to get on the field, and I don't know who I turned to, but I said, "Is this heaven?" Because that's what it looked like when you walked out on the field. So that was all pretty neat on the old coaching days. Then all of a sudden I became the AD and opened up 9 high schools in 15 years, which I thought that was our normal, right? That's what we did. Everybody made such a big deal out of it. Well, we did it. Sometimes we had 1 every other year. Sometimes we did 2 in 1 year. It's just part of what we did. But it was something. It was really it could be a part of it. It was neat to be a part of actually designing some stuff. I know that during that time we also increased the size of the press box. Dr. Reedy got hammered by a bunch of the community members on that one, that was now the tallest building in Frisco, Texas, and they didn't like that. But you know what? I thought it was pretty cool. It's still pretty cool right now, as a matter of fact. But most importantly, one of the things that we did that I remember back that I was just so blessed to be able to do is I got to hire 23 head football coaches that were also campus coordinators. And each one of those men then turned around, or at least for the ones for the new schools, and hired another 50 to 60 people at their campuses. And the idea was that if you got it right and got the right men in there to do that, I'll be darned, they hired people like they were. And so all of a sudden we had just a community of people that were awesome, and that was probably the highlight of me being here. That in turn then is, everybody always talks about culture. The football culture is different than the volleyball culture, and it's a different culture over at Lone Star than it is at Wakeland. Can you imagine this? Starting from scratch with one high school and going forward to however many we have now and however many middle schools, and being able to handpick and develop the culture of the district. Not necessarily from sport to sport and campus to campus, but we developed the culture in the district that I think still stands firm as it does today. And pretty proud of that. My last bit here is just some thank yous. Thank you to Dr. Wakeland for hiring me eventually. Thank you for Dr. Reedy for being with me during that growth during the whole time. He was like having a co-AD along the way, because he's been so used to being involved with athletics, and just really we appreciate everything he did. I want to thank Coach Littlejohn. Been with me the whole time. A bunch of different jobs that we had him do, and he did them all great, and so proud of him. So proud of the staff, all the way from Edie to the group that's on my left and the group that's on my right. There's none better in the state of Texas. And then 2 other things I want to do, and then I'm gonna sit down. If I hired you, or if the person that hired you I hired, I want you to stand up right quick. Okay. Guys, I just want to thank y'all. You're why I'm here. You guys are why I'm right here. And I love every one of you. Lastly, just want to thank God for leading me and guiding me every step of the way. And He continues to do that today. Thank y'all.
Let's give Coach K another round of applause. Our next inductee was a multi-sport star who was also the student council president at Frisco High School, Randy Yates.
1969 graduate of Frisco High School, competed in football, basketball, baseball, and track and field. He was an all-state selection in football, playing for 2 district champions, and also an all-state selection in basketball. Additionally, Yates was the student council president and the senior elected most likely to succeed.
Randy had a tremendous influence on me in all areas. As a player, he was the type player that always seemed to be able to rise to the occasion. When the going was the toughest, he was at his best. I thought was a great quality. And as a coach, he was almost like he coached me instead of me coaching him. He was a dream, a coach's dream to work with. And as a friend, I left Frisco in summer of '68, and Randy and I have met on several occasions since then, and we've become great friends, and I value that friendship tremendously. Randy had sort of what I would call a bigger-than-life persona, and the younger kids in Frisco looked up to him and tried to emulate him, and I thought that was a tremendous effect. Well, first of all, he was intelligent, and he had a great attitude, worked extremely hard, and just had an influence, a positive influence on everybody around him. Randy was a type person that people watched and appreciated and admired, and I think that was something that everybody in the town of Frisco knew who Randy Yates was.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor inductee, Randy Yates. I'm going to make sure I get the microphone close to the mouth, so I'm not. So here's the official question. A star in football, basketball, and baseball, student council president, excellent student. It's no surprise you were voted most likely to succeed in the class of '69. How did you manage to balance everything in your high school years?
Well, Matt, I guess, back in my era, the mid-'60s or late '60s, here at Frisco High School, we didn't think of it as balance. You didn't have all the opportunities and things to do that kids do now. You pretty much, for me, you just went to school and did athletics, and I was fortunate enough to do that. And who you just saw, Coach Lloyd Nichols, was a great influence on me. Not only me, but so many other people that were in the school and the athletics at that time. So, I never really thought about it being balanced. I'm just grateful, and I thank the committee, the nominating committee, the selection committee, for this great honor. And I'm not only honored, but I'm humbled. And I just like to say I've always been and always will be a Frisco High School fighting coon.
Congratulations. Another round of applause, everybody, for Randy Yates. Our next inductee is a football player who made his mark at Liberty shortly after it opened, Jay Ajayi.
A 2011 graduate of Liberty High School, was a dominant running back who helped the Redhawks rise to prominence. Ajayi led Liberty to a 12-1 record in 2010, and in his final 2 seasons, he scored 55 touchdowns and rushed for nearly 4,000 yards. He played in an NFL Pro Bowl and won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles.
He's left a big impact on me, specifically just being, the second oldest right behind him. He definitely left big shoes to follow. He's somebody who, pushed me always to, strive, and he really let me know that everything, you want in life is achievable. Growing up with him, just being, the second right behind him, we always did everything together. We always kind of had similar dreams, always wanted to play sports. So just seeing him and just watching everything he's done and achieved in life has just been amazing. He's definitely impacted me to just believe in myself and know that, anything I want is achievable if I just work for it. He's just been somebody who's always been supportive, and he's somebody who always helps me out and always looking to help me and my other siblings out and our parents and everything. He does everything he can. He's a very passionate person, as most people know. So just his fire, he fires everybody else around him. So he's just somebody who, lights up a room, somebody who's always bringing life to a room and just has unlimited energy. Well, I think what his legacy would be is just kind of a pioneer of people out of Frisco knowing that they could go to the big leagues, they could make it to Division I football, they could, play in the NFL, win Super Bowls, go to Pro Bowls. You see people still, his name still rings in the city. People still remember him out here. You got guys like Ashton Genty following up in his footsteps from Frisco to Boise State, now to the NFL next, as somebody you could see directly his influence alone in that alone. I just know his impact is just going to be somebody who, made people out here believe we can make it out. There's a lot of talent out here. He brought a spotlight to the Frisco ISD sports. And you see it now. You see people going big places out of Frisco, and it's always good to, go back and see kind of who was one of the first biggest, stars out of the city. So that's really his biggest impact, I feel like.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor inductee, Jay Ajayi. Well, it's funny. I can't believe it's been 15 years. When I was working out at the morning news and I went out to Liberty's football field to do a story on you, we talked about your potential future. Things worked out pretty well. Yeah. Okay, so now the official question. Liberty had just opened when you were a student there, but you and the football team helped the Red Hawks become known around the state. What is your best memory of your time at Liberty and with the football team?
Yeah, first off, just want to thank God, for the opportunity to be here and just for my career, and thank my family as well for being here to support me, and my family not here in Nigeria as well, that they could be here. The culture that some of my coaches, the Liberty coaches that are in the back, that they set for us, it was a special thing. Obviously, being from Frisco at that time, I didn't really understand, the history of, the teams out here, and we just wanted to kind of set the stage for ourselves. We wanted to do something special at Liberty. It was a new school, I think, at the time. Everything we were hearing was Centennial this, Centennial that, Frisco this, Frisco that. So, I came in with a great group of, guys. We were excited to do something special. We were led, by our head coach, Coach Z. And the thing I can really take from it is, after leaving high school and even going to college and NFL, when you're around winning culture, I've learned that it starts at the top. And the way that those guys kind of even kept each other accountable in the coaching staff room, it bled down to how we were as players and how we took everything that they were saying to heart. We were just joking earlier about the runs that Coach Z used to make us do, called Curry, where we had to run up and down a hill. He made us watch the Army videos. I mean, it was serious. We had to wear question mark T-shirts in the off-season and earn your way into a black T-shirt. All of these things are things that I still remember because they were things that they instilled in us to just really grind. And at that time, too, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to take football seriously. My dad was a FIFA agent, and I was playing soccer and football, and they used to tell me, stop chasing the egg, come work out, because I didn't like to work out so much. And I finally made that decision to take it seriously. And again, they just made it enjoyable. They made it fun, and we wanted to do something special. We did. Obviously, we didn't get past Thanksgiving. Coach Z, I apologize for that. We didn't make it past Thanksgiving 2 years in a row, but like my brother said, I think we were able to leave a mark, a legacy, and I'm proud of myself on just what I was able to do at Liberty High School. That was everything I wanted at the end of the day, was just to leave a legacy and just be great. So, yeah.
Definitely left a legacy. Congratulations. Applause, everyone, for Jay Ajayi. Now we get to our first team inductee, and it was a great one. The 2011 Wakeland girls soccer team.
The 2011 Wakeland girls soccer team was Frisco ISD's first girls state soccer champion. The Wolverines survived a regional final in which they won after 7 rounds of penalty kicks. At the state tournament, Wakeland beat Waco Midway 1-0 in the state semifinals, and then topped Cedar Park Vista Ridge 2-1 in the championship game.
To all the girls that were on that team, and I think I kind of said it, or I hope I did, and I hope I delivered it in a way that you guys can understand in the first clip. But you guys left an unbelievable memory for me as a coach. I hope for you for a lifetime. Something that you can look back on as you get older and say, I was a part of that, and I did that. And it's something that for me. Continuing in this profession and then carrying over, now 15, 20 years later, and you realize how special that truly was and how cool that was to be a part of, and really how once in a lifetime it is, and how hard it is to get back there. As a coach, I after that first year, I never made it back there, so to be able to do that in that very first year because of y'all and because of the just absolute fierce young women that you were, I just want to say thank you, and for getting to be a part of that memory with you guys, and going through that year. It was a roller coaster year, and it was so hard, but it was also so fun on so many levels, and I hope it's something that you guys look back on and that you guys are proud of. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say I love all of you guys, and it's been so cool to revisit all of this with you guys over the last 6 months or so as this honor has come along, and just kind of go back down memory lane and see all of you guys now as adults, with babies and kids and all that stuff. So I just want to say that you guys are forever in my heart, and thank you for letting me be a part of your journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2011 Wakeland girls soccer team. Members of the team: Michaela Moan Bishop, Katie Carmichael Velges, Whitney Stone Howell, Haley Lyons McAnally, Lexi DeVore, Morgan Ciano Watson, Christine Sparks, Paige Reed Childress, Tatum Moog, Logan White, Ashley Kingston, Sydney Kingston, Kristen Rodriguez Stavrow, Maddie Lundberg Partain, Ashley Vega, Madison Brown, Jennifer Perry Block, Brittany Barbero McGee, Kaylin Peary Flowers, Courtney Holloman Gowan, Zoe Lauer Shoup, Paige Jorgensen Minden, Haley Womack, Caitlin Riley, Maggie Yates, and Taylor Breeding. Also, assistant coach Jenny Cruz and head coach Megan Wilson. Well, congratulations. Coach Wilson, you and the Wakeland girls soccer team had never made it to the state tournament before that incredible state championship run. What made that breakthrough team so special?
Gosh, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you. I look around this room, and there are so many people that have had an impact on my career. Kim and Marty and Coach K, and I look around this room and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many of my role models in here. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for the impact that you had on my career and who I've gotten to become, today because of y'all's impact. To the ladies that weren't able to be here today, we have so many kids that live out of state now. And so this was really a challenge to get them here, but to the three that we were able to get here, it's been so awesome to get to reconnect with them. Like I said in the video, over the last 6 months, we created a group text that we've kind of just been talking back and forth on over this last 6 months, and it's been really cool to interact with them again and see, what they've gone on and done. So I'm incredibly thankful for this last 6 months and the time that I've gotten to have with them again. To talk about that question, that year before, they had a great run. They had another coach at the time, Kim Colin, who I think set an incredible tone for our program at the time. And they had lost to Highland Park the year before. And so there was just this huge rivalry of like, we're gonna beat them, we're gonna get back, it's our year. And then you had this just perfect combination of kids that came in at the right time. Our freshman class that year was incredible, our sophomore class was incredible, our junior class was incredible, and then you had seniors that had been there, knew how to lead, had the grit and determination that it was going to take to go on that journey, and man, it was a ride. It was one of those things. I remember being a first-year head coach, and there were days where I was like, oh God, I don't know if I'm cut out for this, it was a lot. But at the same time, I grew. Watching them grow was so fun. And then just to see the confidence build as the year went on, to see them go, okay, we have this. And it was like game after game. You could literally see the confidence just growing. And I remember getting to the regional tournament and playing against Rockwall. And that game was unbelievable. We had dribble ups at the time. And the emotion of that and having to go through the shootout and going 7 rounds to win that. After we did that, we still had 2 games to go take care of, but I knew we were going to win. Because I knew that these kids had the right mindset. They were hungry, and they weren't going to let it slide from that point on. And honestly, they hadn't the entire year. But once we got past that, I was like, they have this in the bag. We just have to go put it out there on the field and execute it. So I'm so proud, and again, like I said in the video, very thankful to have been a part of their journey that year. And thank you to everybody in this room.
Congratulations. Another round of applause for the 2011 Wakeland girls soccer team. We move from a legendary soccer team to a legendary contributor in Frisco, D.C. Dieter Smotherman.
D.C. Dieter Smotherman, a 1929 Frisco High graduate, served on the school board from 1950 to 1952, and then again from 1960 to 1962. He was a huge supporter of extracurricular activities, including athletics and band. He was also a respected umpire who did the job for free, and the Frisco High School baseball field is named in his honor.
Hi, my name is Gary Smotherman, and I'm a proud graduate of Frisco High School, the great class of 1968. And if you need some confirmation about that, just ask Janie. She'll tell you. It's my distinct honor to be able to tell you something about my dad today. My dad is D.C. Smotherman, better known as Dieter, and he lived in Frisco his entire life. He was married to my mom for 62 years until his death in 1996. I have three brothers, James, Danny, and Harold. My dad lived, like I said, in Frisco his entire life. He graduated from Frisco High School in 1929. He played baseball and basketball, earning letters in both sports. And his dad, my grandfather, would not allow him to play football because back in those days, Frisco, I know some of you won't believe this, but it was a farming community, and he had to pick cotton and was not allowed to play football. I would be remiss if I didn't mention his two good buddies, his partners in crime, and that would be Gene Nichols and Dayton Duncan. And between the three of them, they went to literally thousands of athletic events for Frisco High School. There was no bigger supporters than those three guys. They were always there. In fact, if they used a ball and kept score, they were probably there. In conclusion, my dad did these things because he cared deeply, he loved Frisco deeply, and he was always involved deeply. So my brothers and I, my family, would like to thank the Frisco ISD, Frisco Athletic, for honoring my dad in this way. It is good to know, it brings joy to our hearts that he is remembered even after he's been gone almost 30 years. So, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor inductee Dieter Smotherman, please welcome Gary Smotherman. All right. Well, we got a lot of information about your dad there, but I'm going to ask you a question about him too. So thanks for being here. Congratulations to your dad and the family. Your dad was the all-everything guy for Frisco, member of the FISD Board of Trustees, the guy who pushed the band program forward, an umpire who worked for free, always valuable, and a huge fan and supporter of youth sports. Do you have a favorite memory or story of your dad?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple I'd like to mention. Number one is the honor from Frisco ISD and the athletic department about naming the baseball field after my dad. We could not be prouder, and I know Dieter would be proud too. Number two is thinking back to those days that one of the great joys was going to some out-of-town football game with Dieter, with Gene Nichols, and with Dayton Duncan. Didn't come any better. And then I specifically remember going to Austin for the state high school basketball finals. And it went something like this. You leave Frisco at 3 in the morning, you drive to Austin, you watch 5 basketball games, then you get back in the car and drive back to Frisco, getting home about 3 a.m. So, seemed like fun at the time. I'm not so sure about now. So, on behalf of my dad, thank you very much.
Great memories. Congratulations. Another round of applause for Dieter and Gary Smotherman. Our next inductee is another multi-sport star who could dominate indoors and out, Charlotte Jones Simmons.
Charlotte Jones Simmons, a 1987 graduate of Frisco High School, was one of the most versatile and acclaimed athletes in Frisco ISD history. She was a member of the state champion track and field team and earned 12 medals at the state track meet, where she set a state record in the triple jump. She was also an all-state selection in basketball.
First, a disclaimer. I sit here today as a poor replacement for Charlotte Jones Simmons' high school basketball coach, Coach Max Bledsoe. We lost Max last week. We miss you, Max. I know that Max would want me to acknowledge what all of us coaches and all of her teammates gained from working with and observing Charlotte Jones Simmons. That being the leader of the team carried with it the responsibility to be the best practice player as well as the best player during the game. That meant being a role model in life as well as on the court. And that it meant always putting the goals of the team in front of any individual goal that you might have. That old oft-repeated cliche is that that player was great because they made everybody that was on the floor with them better than they would have been had they not been there, was certainly the most remarkable thing about Charlotte Jones. The legacy she leaves is much too long to repeat within the time constraints that we have. Just let me list a few. She was a freshman and a star player on the first Frisco ISD basketball team that made it to the state tournament. She started and played on 4 playoff volleyball teams in her 4 years in high school. She was a state champion in track and field and held the triple jump record for a number of years. And over the course of her career, she won 12 medals at the state meet. She won numerous district, regional, and state individual honors. And in college, she played on a national championship team from Kilgore College and has a picture that I'm proud to look at in the Oval Office with President Ronald Reagan after that national championship win. From there, she went to East Texas State University and was the leading scorer and best player that they had. And to my knowledge, she is the only former Frisco ISD student athlete who was on scholarship at a university in 2 different sports, basketball and track and field. In 1991, she won the Lib Huggins Award, signifying the outstanding woman athlete at East Texas State University. She was an all-conference basketball player that year, and she was also the conference and a champion in the triple jump and set the East Texas State University record at the time in the triple jump. The award was presented, and the inscription on the award says this: on the basis of competitive spirit, sportsmanship, athletic ability, and contributions to women's athletics. That just about says it all about the versatility and reach of the athletic prowess of Charlotte Jones Simmons. Today, we celebrate her taking her rightful place in the Frisco ISD Athletic Hall of Honor, and we thank her for paving the way for the many female student athletes who followed her in Frisco ISD.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor inductee, Charlotte Jones Simmons. Well, a long list of accomplishments. Wow. So, a star in multiple sports, including Frisco State champion track team, the state qualifier in basketball, and also volleyball. A standout college career as well. What are your best memories from your sports career?
For college, like he said, of course, winning nationals. I played for Evelyn Blaylock, winning nationals, being from Frisco at the time, very small. I called my mom. I remember telling her, Mom, I'm going to go to the White House. She was like, what? I said, Mom, I'm going to go meet President Reagan. And I can remember her and my sister saying, okay, well, we're going to meet you at the airport. And I was 18. I was nervous. Hadn't really been anywhere from Frisco, small. I remember I was waiting for them at the airport, and Channel 8 News was there. and they found that I was from Frisco, and they wanted to interview me. And I remember that, being interviewed, but I was trying to look for my mom, but unfortunately their car broke down, so they couldn't make it to the airport. But that, meeting President Reagan, that's the most memorable for college. But as far as high school, Frisco High, Frisco, Texas, I think the people. I had a village. I had a village around me. I can name Reedy. When I said that I couldn't, he said, you can. The Wakelands, Sue Stafford, who gave me my first spanking in middle school. And of course, I got another one when I got home. But those things is what made me humble. Our student body, I remember going to the playoffs. We had student bodies traveling with us everywhere, dressed in camouflage. Everywhere we went, they supported us. But it's the people here, like I said, y'all, I had a village. Coach Litchford, who I love dearly. I still work with Coach Litchford. She was my volleyball coach. But just the people, Coach Cook, tried out for the baseball team. I made the baseball team. I was going to be a shortstop, but my dad came back in town. He said, oh, absolutely not. So, but just the people in Frisco that just was there for us. We couldn't get in trouble. And still to this day, I'm 56, I am not going to get in trouble just because of the fear. So I thank God for putting that fear in us and the people in Frisco that was there. And Coach Bledsoe, I'm here today because of him. He followed me throughout my college career. He's the reason that I went to East Texas State. I was supposed to go to Stephen F. Austin, but I went to East Texas State because that's where he went. But I'm thankful for him, and I love him dearly. And I just think the whole Frisco, the whole town. I mean, when we would go out of town to play ball, they used to say, last one leave town, turn off the lights. That's how small it was. So I'm just grateful and I'm thankful for being and raised in Frisco, Texas. Thank you.
We're thankful for you. Congratulations. Another round of applause for Charlotte Jones Simmons. Our next inductee was a star in the fall and in the spring as a football player and a track and field star. Kene Nwangu.
Kene Nwangu, a class of 2016 Heritage High School graduate, was a star in football and track and field. He medaled 3 straight years in the high jump, winning the state title as a senior. In football, he was a running back who scored 7 touchdowns in one of Heritage's playoff games and is now a kick returner in the NFL.
So Kene started playing sports when he was in middle school. He tried out for flag football when he was in 6th grade. He didn't really like it. He said, Mom, I think I'll wait when I get to middle school. So when he started middle school, I think it was 7th grade, he never took a snap in football ever, and he ended up on the C team. And he, I guess, they just saw how athletic he is and gave him the ball as a running back. I think his very first carry, he scored a touchdown. And that kind of opened up everybody's eyes. Oh, this child is fast. And that fastness really has kind of catapulted his career in football. And playing sports, be it track or football, has really impacted us all around. It's really helped, keep him focused making sure that he knows that education is first and foremost, that athletics is secondary. Us being of African descent, we value education more than anything else, and he knew that for him to play sports, he had to be good in the classroom too. So that has really helped shape, who he is today, knowing that education is key, but athletics is also something he can do on the side, but there was no compromise in education first. Knowing that Frisco is not a quote-unquote a big powerhouse for sports, especially in football, but being able to overcome all odds and make it through college, with full ride scholarship, and then be able to make it in the NFL, it kind of tells every kid here in Frisco that you can be whatever you want to be if you are dedicated, put in the hard work, and believe in yourself. You don't have to come from a big powerhouse for high school football area. Frisco is a very good area. We have good academics, and we have awesome coaches, teachers that help nurture our kids. And I believe that by Kene being one of the ones to set the goals and set the leadership that you can be anything that you put your heart to, I believe that the kids that are coming behind him and all the other kids that have made it through college football and athletics and then have gone beyond to play, really will understand that they can be whatever they, hope to be if they put in the hard work. That coming from Frisco doesn't put you at a disadvantage or anything like that. The sky is your limit if you work hard and you're dedicated to your craft.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor inductee, Kene Wangu. Well, now all of our coaches have new things to tell their C-team middle school players. Well, I know somebody who's in the NFL. Okay. Multiple state track and field medals, including the high jump state title. You're at state like every year, right? A standout football career at Heritage, Iowa State, and the NFL. But you're also known for your academics. What life lessons have you learned from sports?
Man, that's just like a loaded question because, I'm just going through high school, college, the NFL, just trying to pick out little bits that man, what did you really learn? I mean, I learned grit, I learned perseverance, all these types of things. But mainly what I learned through sports is the ability to just give back. I learned that from my high school coach, Shay Hendricks, and then going to Iowa State, learning that from Matt Campbell. And then, just recently, the other day, I got a phone call from my Jets running back coach. He's with the Patriots now. And he was just letting me know, how much he appreciated my hard work coming into this young running back room with Brees and two rookies, and just the way I went about my business, the way I carried myself, elevated that room, even when I'm not playing, just how I practice, my study habits, the way I take care of my body, just, pouring into those young guys. So ultimately, the thing I learned the most was you just give back. Whatever your God-given ability is, just hone in onto it and, just let that path that God has built for you, and just look back at the people that are following you. There's so many people with passions and trying to reach their goals, and just a conversation here or a little bit of encouragement can change the outlook for their entire life.
Congratulations. Another round of applause, everyone, for Kene Wangu. Our next inductee was busy all year long when he was at Frisco High, playing football, basketball, and baseball. Bill Westhoff.
Bill Westhoff, a 1998 Frisco High graduate, was an all-district basketball player And in football, he was a district MVP who his coach described as one of the best quarterbacks he had ever coached. But Westhoff was even better in baseball, where as a shortstop and pitcher, he was a 4-year varsity player and all-state selection.
Well, I tell you what, Bill Westhoff was a unique human being. He was one of those kids that you don't get but about once or twice in your career that is just an all-sport kid. That it didn't matter what sport was being played, he wanted to play it. And it just so happens that he was a good enough athlete that he was pretty good at all the ones that he tried out for. He actually, while I was here in the mid-90s, he played football, which I was the head coach in, played basketball, played baseball, which I think was one of his very best sports. And then he tells me I made him run track. So I'm sure I don't remember that, but I'm sure that's exactly what happened, is that I made him run track. But the coolest thing about Bill is that he also was not a rah-rah kind of guy. He was a leader by example. And those kind of guys are rare, that they actually can, be the example of what you're looking for in a program. And he was one of those. It didn't matter what sport it was in. And also that included the summertime workouts that they had him come up here and do all the time, lifting weights all the time. But there were times that it carried over. It overlapped a little bit. We had the baseball off-season overlap a little bit, and we had basketball and football a little bit more off-season. Never missed a day. He was out there in the middle of it all the time. So I would have to say in my career here in Frisco, Bill during the 90s was probably the #1 best athlete in the school district.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor inductee, Bill Westhoff. Well, a lot of big words from Coach K. He knows a good athlete when he sees it. You played football, basketball, and baseball at Frisco High, played college baseball, and then in the Houston Astros organization for a few years. Is there something you learned from sports that sticks with you today?
Thank you, appreciate it. Coach K, you did, just to set the record straight, make me run track. But I appreciate it. Boy, there's lots of things, throughout youth sports, middle school, on to high school and beyond. I would say a couple of things that were there all along and still there, just the discipline and the work ethic piece, progressing from youth sports into middle school with coaches, and I see many in the room, through middle school and high school and even some teammates here, which is pretty awesome. But at each level, things change, responsibilities increase, and those things kind of stuck throughout and really grew, and stuff that not just in school, not just in work, not in sports, but daily life, day-to-day life, at home with the kids, everything. It's still there with me, still growing, trying to instill that in my kids, which is, if you have kids, you know how that goes. But we do the best we can. But I would say those, of all the things, that's definitely something that has stuck with me, from the beginning.
Awesome. Congratulations. Another round of applause, everyone, for Bill Westhoff. Now we've got another team inductee. It's actually two teams from 2014 and 2015, the Centennial Boys Wrestling Squads.
Few wrestling programs can have the kind of magical season that includes both a state duals title and a UIL state championship. But that's what the Centennial Wrestling program did in 2014, and then again in 2015. The Titans had a perfect record in dual matches each season, and in 2015, Centennial scored 133 points at the state meet, which at the time was a 5A state record.
Yeah, just a personal message to the 2014-2015 teams. We got to meet 2 months ago at the stadium and do the Hall of Fame entrance with all you guys, and it was just so great. But you guys just cemented in my life that I wanted to be a coach. I was in another business for a while, got into teaching and coaching, and like I said before, you guys just spoiled me, and you helped us win a state championship in my second year as a coach. But just the relationships, I remember Roman, me and you and your mom bawling your eyes out when you won the state title. Hernandez, Vondi, Shane, Curtis, and now I'm going to miss a name and I'm going to feel bad about it. But you guys, I love y'all. I see Will Curtis coaching at Reedy. I saw him last night, and just so happy to still be a part of your life. And that's just what it taught me as a coach. This is a friend, mentor. Now it's a mentor-friend relationship now. Like, I mentored you guys at one point, now we're friends. I can't wait to be in your weddings and meet your kids one day. And again, just very thankful that you guys were my first group, because you've cemented what I feel is my passion in life and what I'm doing. So love you guys. And then with the district, you guys set the tone for what Frisco wrestling is. Frisco, the model that we use of multiple schools, and people say you can't win. And Frisco Centennial said, heck no, we can win. We won 2 state titles. We took 3rd the next year and 2nd the next year. We almost run 4 in a row. And so again, you guys set the bar for what's expected of all of Frisco, not only in wrestling, but just all the sports. And I know through Centennial Tennis, Wakeland Soccer, lots of these sports are winning state titles, and I'm just proud to be a part of that. So thank y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor inductees, the 2014 and 15 Centennial Boys Wrestling Teams. Team members: Will Curtis, Spencer Shane, Devin McCord, Noah Sims, Austin Vonderhyde, Roman Rose, Corbin Huxley, Trey Brown, Sam Emke, Gregory Copestick, Casey Clare, Jacob Moore, Ishan Smith, Alex Hernandez. Assistant coaches: Kevin Wainscott, Andrew Kekkonen, Terry Grayson, and Brent Holtrup. Head coach: Jake Jackson. So wrestling's a fun sport to watch, but I think if anybody goes out and watches the coaches coaching on the mat, they're in the corner on 2 chairs, that is one of the most entertaining things you could ever find. And Coach Jackson's up there at the bunch. It's like watching a horror movie. But anyways, he's a great coach, has a great team again this year. Here's your official question. Coach Jackson, you've had a lot of great wrestlers and teams at Centennial, but these back-to-back state champions were incredible. What made these teams able to be so dominant during that run?
I think that's 3 things. One thing, they were extremely talented. They can all wrestle, right? You don't win a state title with kids who can't scrap. So we had a really good team. They were talented, and Coach K used to tell me all the time, literally, hey, Coach Jackson, just get them on the bus. Is that clear? I'm like, just get them on the bus and they'll do the job. Like, he knew that they were capable, and that's what he continued to tell me. And so I got them on the bus, and they did what they were supposed to do. A second thing, as any coach will probably tell you, a team that holds each other accountable is a team that can be really special. I, of course, hold them accountable as a coach, but this group was super unique in that, if Roman didn't show up to practice, Devin McCord was going to let him hear about it. Same for Spencer Shane, Will Curtis, Vondi, all these guys up here. They were holding each other accountable, and as a coach, when you can sit back, that's a really, really special thing. Third, belief, man. You got to believe you can do it. You may not, but you got a better chance if you believe you can. Roman Rose, I remember going home from the state tournament, his 3rd year wrestling. He took 6th in state, and we kind of made a plan like, hey, how are you going to win a state title? And we kind of mapped it out, and he did it. Like, he believed he could be a state champion, and he accomplished that. We do goal sheets, and so Austin Vonderhyde, this tall guy right here, he was a 3rd year wrestler, and he made it to the state tournament, and he went 0-2. And I don't think he came close to winning his match his junior year. And I'm going somewhere, I promise, here with belief. I'm not just going to make fun of him. I love Austin Vonderhyde. But so we did a goal sheet his junior year at the end of the year, and then we're talking about what does he want to do his senior year. And he puts, be in the state finals. And I'm like, guys, that's not what this is, okay? We're not making up pretend goals. Give me something realistic. You know, you went to state as a junior, as a senior. How about place in state? Man, do I feel like an idiot. He makes it to the state finals in just his 4th year as a wrestler. His senior year, first match, wins like an overtime match, second time overtime match, third match. He makes this kid from Randall. This is a cool story. I'm sorry. He got this kid so tired, the kid threw up on the mat, and we wound up winning that match. And as a coaching staff, you know, anytime you just break a team, feels pretty good. So Vonnie broke that kid. It was a good day. State runner-up. So proud of him. Love every kid up here. And that is what makes these teams special. But like any team, it's a family. I love these guys. They're legends. And then look at the staff right here. You probably can't tell who the coaches are and who the kids are. You know what I mean? We have the greatest staff ever. Coach Holtrop right here. He's the head coach at Memorial. Will Curtis here, head coach at Reedy. Coach Kekkonen is the head coach at Prosper Walnut Grove. Terry Grayson is just the MVP of all things coaching in life. I love this man with all my heart. So we had a great staff as well. And I, again, attribute that to Coach K and Frisco ISD for putting that together at Centennial. So that's all I got, and appreciate it.
Congratulations to all of you. Another round of applause for the 2014 and 15 Centennial Boys Wrestling teams. Now we get to another legendary coach whose long connection with Frisco High goes back to when she was an FHS student, Janie Litchford.
Known as Coach Litch, is now in her 39th year at Frisco High School, where she is the volleyball coach and assistant campus athletic coordinator. Litchford is a graduate of Frisco High School and is a role model for many students and coaches. She has led 3 volleyball teams to more than 30 wins in a season, including a regional finalist in 1992.
To try to describe the impact of Coach Janie Litchford on this school district and its students and on all of us who had the good fortune to work with her within the 38 years, don't let me date her, 38 years in which she graced the hallways of Frisco High School, is a formidable task, but one that I willingly accept due to my sincere respect for her and for her work. Coach Litchford will be our first homegrown coach inductee in that she graduated from Frisco High School in a year that she describes as after cars but before cell phones. Coach Litchford's example and its enormous influence on students and colleagues cannot be quantified. She is the master class and the perfect example of the art of coaching and leadership. And she did that by the 3 capital letter C's. The first being credibility, the second being consistency, and the most important being compassion. She was the first coach colleague whose actions taught me the lesson that we coach kids rather than a sport, and that the fundamentals of the game are less significant than the life lessons a team environment can foster when a coach has bigger aspirations than just winning games. I will always remember when we gathered at a home game against Hebron High School to celebrate her 500th victory. And as we were preparing to give testimonial to her great work at that campus, the coach from the opposing school, Coach Kenny from Hebron High, commandeered the microphone and in very emotional and vivid terms described to all of us how Coach Litchford had been a mentor and a powerful example for her and other young coaches all around the state. Beyond the 49 years, and still counting, of exemplary service to Frisco ISD, including 798 victories and an incredible 19 consecutive playoff qualifications, including gut-wrenching 2.5-hour 5-set contests that both won and lost at the regional tournament. There's a bigger story. A coach whose humanity and graciousness allows her to walk humbly but confidently in the knowledge that the relationships with students and coaches that are forged in competition are all victories, regardless of the outcome. There's a musical comedy, Hello Dolly, and the refrain on the showstopper tune is, well, hello Dolly, we're so glad to have you back where you belong. Well, Coach Janie Litchford, we're so glad to have you where you've always belonged as a coach inductee into the Frisco ISD Athletic Hall of Honor. We are so proud of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor inductee, Janie Litchford. Well, I've been over here in Frisco ISD for 7 years, and the first thing when I got there, they said, we have a magazine. Can you find a coach you could do a story on? I'm like, I'm going to do Coach Litch. I already knew her before I came over here. And a legend has even grown over those last 7 years. So here's your official question. Been a coach in Frisco ISD for nearly 40 years, a true legend in FISD. You're an inspiration to all of us, but what keeps you going each day, week, month, and year?
First of all, this is a big question. But anyway, the first thing that keeps me going is my doctor. And that is my Sonic Dr. Pepper drink that all my coaches and all my players know that I have every day. And but all kidding aside, it's my friends, it's my coaching staff that keep me going. But most of all, it's the students, the players. They're the reason that I do what I do. And I believe in giving back. I hope I'm a very good steward of what I do for the kiddos in the hallway as well as the athletes. Everybody knows I thrive on sports. I live, eat, and breathe sports. I love competition. I love to watch all of our kids compete in whatever they do. That means the world to me, and I hope that I can take that competitive spirit and convey that to our young people, not only in the classroom, but on the field or the court, and prepare them for life, because that's what it's all about. What can we do to prepare them for the next phase of what they're going to go and achieve? My friends that joined me here today, Coach Benson, Coach Watson, Coach Cease, Coach Stewart's here with me, Coach Dowd, Coach Laris, and so many more people in this room that I look up to, the other coaches that are here in our district, that you've helped me so much with so many things. I can make a phone call at any time and go, hey, I need help with this. Can you give me a drill for this? Can you give me a drill for that? And it's just coaches and athletes are bound together like a family. And it doesn't matter where our path leads us in life, that tie you cannot break. And that's why I do what I do. I'm so thankful that my daughter could join me today and she didn't get caught in a snowstorm in Colorado. She played for me, and I always told her, I'm going to work you 3 times harder than I work anybody else, because you got to prove what you can do. And so we butted heads on some things, but that was okay because I won. So last but not least, certainly, Dr. Reedy, thank you so much for giving me that opportunity to come back to Frisco. It was scary coming back to Frisco. I mean, I had my peers, my classmates, and other students that were with me at Frisco High, and I thought, how am I going to do this? What if I have to cut their daughter? That was scary, you know. But I learned from everything, and I just always want to teach my students to persevere, because that's what life is all about. My motto is get up, dress up, show up, and it's going to be a great day, and you're going to be successful in whatever you do. And it's so good to see so many of you in here that mean so much to my life, and you've done things for me that you don't even know. And I love it here, and it's just been a great experience, and I do believe that God brought me back here as well as Dr. Reedy having enough confidence in me that I could come back and do the job. A special thanks to all of you. I love everybody in this room, and I'm so proud of all of you young men and women that were represented here today. I'm glad to be a part of this prestigious group. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Another round of applause for Janie Litchford. I'm about to welcome back to the stage Jerry Littlejohn, but I just wanted to mention, you see the videos that show up before each inductee, those actually had to be condensed a little bit because we know other people, they have things to do and everything, and we have a lot of great things about great inductees. We're going to have a story that's going to post on the website, and we'll link to the full videos if you want to see the other content, enhanced content. So anyways, so Jerry Littlejohn.
How about one more round of applause to recognize Frisco ISD Athletics Hall of Honor class of 2025 and our MC, Mr. Matt Wixon. Thank you all for being a part of our ceremony today. A special thank you to our Frisco ISD athletic staff for your support in preparing for this important ceremony. Also, we would like to thank our Hall of Honor committee members for their contributions over the past 12 months. The efforts of these important community volunteers helped us to successfully induct our second class of inductees this afternoon. Please feel free to spend some time this afternoon visiting with former teammates, coaches, colleagues, friends, and family. Be sure to check out our Hall of Honor touchscreens located in the foyer. These touchscreens have information about each of our Hall of Honor inductees. The information you saw today, plus in some cases additional information provided by team members, coaches, family members, and athletes. This information can also be found online via our athletic website. In addition to that information on those screens are every Frisco ISD high school yearbook, and those are also accessible online, thanks to the work of Mr. Wixon. But those are available for you to look through and reminisce as well. Blake Reedy has them on his phone, actually, so he showed me one day. So he showed me a few pictures of myself. So, with the completion of this ceremony, we will begin the process in preparing for the class of 2026. You all can assist us by visiting our Frisco ISD athletic website to complete and submit a nomination form for an individual or team you feel should be considered for the Frisco ISD Athletic Hall of Honor. At this time, we are going to conclude our program, but we would like all of our inductees, individuals, team members, to make their way, and contributors, to make their way to the stage for a group picture. Thank you again for being with us today, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.